Hey everybody, it's your boy Pee Wee back with another video. So today, I was just scrolling through the Reddit, just looking for either, just to have discussions with people or look for any recommendations, and just stuff along those lines. And I came across a comment in there that really just surprised me, I'd say. Because I'm scrolling through the MANHWA Reddit and I just see a comment of a person who just says, what's even the difference? And it was regards to the difference between manga, manhwa, and manhwa, and like just it just dawned on me that despite people reading these comics, they might not even know like what they're reading, so to say, and where it even like comes from, right? So today's just gonna be a quick video just to explain the difference between manga, manhwa, and manhwa. If you already know, then this video isn't for you. But this is just for anybody who finds themselves in that position where they're like, what is the difference? And um, there's obviously the glaring difference of one's from China, one's from Japan, one's from Korea. Um, well, they're essentially made and published there. But you can also tell like the differences is also in like the art or the type of stories and stuff like that too. So I just want to do a quick video going over. The first one would be a manga, which is the Japanese comics or graphic novels that are originated in Japan. And those tend to be not this one. It tends to be these black and white, multi-paneled panels, so to say. A lot of things happen in one panel, right? And the chapters tend to be a little shorter than Korean comics, pretty much the shortest out of all the three. So if you essentially are looking to try to figure out what a manga is, it's essentially going to be a Japanese comic. It's going to be usually in black and white, and the chapters are usually relatively short. The next one to talk about is manhwa, which is the Chinese comics that are produced in China. Um, these ones, they're kind of like manga in the sense where some of them nowadays, like this used to be the typical style of a Chinese comic. You'd have the same thing as the Japanese panels and stuff like that, where a lot is going on one page. Nowadays, it's shifted more towards. Let me see. Disciple is not the holy son. I know, forget my spelling, but we're not here for my spelling. But it's the Chinese comics have also translated more so. There are still some out there that have a lot going on in one panel, but they've also shifted now to uh, similar to Korean comics of it being in just one panel of one thing going on. But manhwa is the Chinese comics, and the chapters are relatively they're longer than manga, but they're shorter than Korean comics. So if you're looking for a shorter comic chapters, whereas but not in black and white, then you would definitely want to choose a manhwa. Now the last one is manhwa, which is the Korean comics, the comics that are made in Korea. Um, and these ones are your typically longer, colorful. Uh, pretty much all of them you'll find are this, single panel, one thing happening at one time, sort of thing. Uh, but essentially, that's pretty much all I really have to say is that a manga is a Japanese comic, a manhwa is a Chinese comic, and a manhwa is a Korean comic. I didn't want to make this video too long because it is relatively simple for people who read a lot of these comics. You can usually tell off like the first or second chapter of what you're reading whether it is a Chinese, Japanese, or Korean comic. But when I saw that question, I just felt like maybe there are people who don't really understand, and I just wanted to give them something that they could see, or just listen to or whatever that pretty much just tells you straight up what the difference between the three is. But that'll be it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.